Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I started part 2 on expert mode of Monkey Ball 1. That was actually completely unintentional. But
Was it?
All right, the gloves are off. I'm done babysitting.
So, fun fact, as a kid, I could get through beginner mode, obviously, for Monkey Ball 1, and I could eventually beat normal mode for Monkey Ball 1. I could never get farther than like stage 15 or so of expert, which is like more than, which means I didn't see like half the levels in the game until I was an adult.
I think I got through expert once as a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, you can unlock more continues by playing the game, because when you played the game, you unlocked points for the store. After you bought all the mini games, you would eventually get the opportunity to buy more continues. But starting off, you only had effectively 15 lives to beat the game. And considering that some of the stages in Monkey Ball, like in this version of the game, for example, I died maybe 20 or 30 at the end. And we're playing marathon mode, by the way, which is just all the stages in order. And counting the expert state, the master stages, I'm pretty sure I died like 150 times in this run of Monkey Ball 1. Getting through just period with the continues that you start with in Monkey Ball 1 feels pretty impossible. And in order to get the master mode, you have to beat expert mode without getting a continue, which means you get 3 lives. And that's it. You get 3 lives, and then you unlock the extra stages, and then you have to beat the extra stages with 3 lives, and then you unlock Master Mode. It's practically impossible. The only way I see people doing it on the original nowadays is by exploiting a underflow glitch. And, like, no thanks.
Does this game still have the alternate exits that jump you ahead certain levels?
Yeah, they still have the green and red exits.
Right.
I'm just not taking them for this run so we can see all the stages. But you can end up skipping stages. The problem is you also have to learn which stages to skip, and some of the green and red goals are really, really hard to get through. So, there's that. But yeah, this is probably one of the hardest games I've beaten, but I've only ever beaten it on the Infinite Lives version on this game. I'm trying to think, has any other remaster that you guys can think of made the game maybe not easier? Because I don't think the games are still just as hard. They just kind of removed the having to grind for extra lives aspect out of it. Were there any remakes that you can only beat, like games that you played as a kid that you could only beat when you came back to them at a remake or whatever later on?
Okay, because I was gonna say I think the Mega Man collections let you turn off lives and stuff.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, rookie mode, basically.
Yeah, but obviously I could beat those on the old versions too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, but for some cases, it is a legitimate upgrade. I think in a lot of instances, like you can turn on rookie mode for, let's use Mega Man X6 for example. And it makes some of the more obnoxious level design way more bearable. Obviously, it's a band-aid to a bullet wound, but it's better than its original release, in my opinion.
So they like remove a couple of the more annoying enemies.
They ease up on the pits, like the bottomless pits. Like they remove a lot of those.
What do they put instead? Do they just like put platforms down?
They just put generic level. Yeah, they put generic level design.
I'm surprised they
basically
even bothered to do that, because I know that altering the ROM of a game can sometimes cause problems. So, like...
Well, it might have been, again, non-game programmer here talking. It might have, assuming they didn't have the source code, they probably reverse engineer it to make it a little easier.
Okay. I'd hope that they'd have the source code for those, because at that point, like the Mega Man collections came out like, 2004 or 5? Mega Man X5...
For like the original anniversary collections? Yeah.
Mega Man X5 and X6 weren't that old. by that point. So I'd hope that they'd still have the source code.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about one of the legacy collections, though, the more recent legacy.
Oh, okay.
The,
I thought
X collection.
I thought you were talking about the Mega Man ones. On,
oh no, the X like the original X collections. No, they were just straight up ports.
They were just straight up ports
of those games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know a lot about the Mega Man X, so
anybody looking to get into Mega Man nowadays, X or otherwise, should be investing in the legacy collections.
Those are
so
good ports.
Yeah, they're really good.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really.
They're as close to the original console port as you're gonna get. A few exceptions are a little weird, but not like broken messes. It's just like anything that tries to do 3D stuff is a little like, that looks a bit off, but.
The only other example I can think of is not so much a direct example of what you're asking, but like Crash Bandicoot 4 obviously is like a retro revitalization after the Insane Trilogy, has an option where you can play modern or retro. Retro giving you lives, modern gives you infinite lives.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That is about it.
Did you play the game on retro?
I put on modern because I don't care about lives.
John,
and from what I understand, Crash 4 showers you in lives anyway.
Yeah.
So there's literally no point.
Well, that was the weird thing going into the races for the charity event, where it's like, I haven't played these games just getting crystals and going to the end in God knows how long, so I'm not used to playing with, like, only 2 lives.
Limited lives, yeah. There was a part of me during that race that was like, do I bother wasting a few seconds to jump on the bear to get an extra 6 or 7? Because I'm kind of running low because I'm ignoring all boxes.
So I haven't, at this point, had a chance to watch the race yet, so I don't know who won. Charity won? Okay, that's good.
Charity
Anyway,
won.
you should all go check out the Charity versus Rooms VOD on the Charity Room YouTube page. Because
especially our Family Feud video.
Yeah, oh god. I was so upset. I really wanted to play Family Feud real bad, but my work, despite having set aside those dates like back in April, was like, no, actually we scheduled to work that day. Sorry. And so I had to work that day and couldn't play Family Feud. And I was very sad.
I also personally recommend the Mario Kart video as well. That was quite a adventure.
Dude, why am I the only person who doesn't like what they did to Calamari Desert? I don't get it.
I was laughing at your
issues with it as well.
Mario Kart experience where you got fucking sent back twice.
Dude, have you seen the Mario Kart Wii video with Daisy? Yeah. Okay, it was that.
We've all seen that video.
But like, man, yeah, I hope that we get the next round of booster courses soon, which means
it'll probably be holiday, would be my guess.
We're not gonna get it till like January, but whatever.
Yeah, after everyone's already spent their money.
No, I would say November or December, just to get people just like
December's a safe bet.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I bring it up is that, like, again, I couldn't beat this game as a kid. Monkey Ball 1 specifically. I think I did beat Monkey Ball 2 as a teenager at the very least. Like, I went back to it a little bit later and was able to beat it then. But it's weird looking at games that you've played for a long time, but then also seeing content you've never seen before. And not just like, oh, there was this hidden power-up behind a thing. That's always cool to see. But I'm more talking about like, oh, there's like an entire level style that I've never seen before in this. And I'm just wondering, how often do you guys run into that? I would assume maybe less so because, we play so many old games for this channel, John, for reviews.
Hard to say, because I've beaten most of the games I played as a kid at some point. The only one I can really think of is kind of the one I've brought up multiple times, just a game I hate as a kid, was like Roadrunner Death Valley Rally, because I got like through 2 levels and then the first boss, and I couldn't figure out how to beat the first boss. So the catapult, right? Yeah, so I've never seen past that in the game. So it's one of those I probably could go back and play it and like look up how to do it, and it's like, oh, I could see new things now, but it's also like, it's a terrible game, so I don't care.
That was one of those. So I remember my first experience I ever played of Death Valley Rally, just as an example, was I was visiting my grandmother over in Puerto Rico. This is 1994. and we were only allowed to rent maybe 2 games. I got the Art of Fighting and I got Death Valley Rally because Looney Tunes. I was a big Looney Tunes guy.
You brought your Super Nintendo to Puerto Rico?
No, they had a Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay. Your grandma had a Super Nintendo?
Yeah, because she also babysat 2 cousins of mine.
Oh, okay.
So it was a smart thing to have.
Okay,
in the house.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we got Art of Fighting and Death Valley Rally, and I was hung up so much on the beginning of that game and that fucking catapult boss that when I finally figured out how to do it for myself, that was like, oh my god, I finally did it, and then I immediately shut the game off. I was like, that fucking sucked. I'm not playing that game ever again.
It's such a bad game.
Yeah, it's from what I understand afterward, it's not a good game at all.
Okay.
No. It's one of those things where it's like, on paper, it makes so much sense where it's like, oh, we have, Sonic, what's really popular right now, Sonic the Hedgehog. What do we have? Well, we have our own animal mascot who runs really quick. We can just do something like that, and then they screwed every aspect up.
That makes sense. It's weird though when you said that you beat most of the games you played growing up as a kid. That's like the complete opposite for me. I don't think I beat almost anything I played as a kid.
I mean asterisk of later. For
later.
A number of them.
Okay, that makes sense. But like,
it's like obviously I wasn't beating games I rented as a kid over one weekend.
Yeah, that's.
But
fair.
I eventually beat Lion King. I eventually beat Aladdin and stuff like that.
Okay, that's a little bit closer to me. But like, growing up, like I don't think I played Pokemon Red and Blue like 99, 2000. I don't think I beat it till like 2003 or 4. I might have beaten Fire Red and Leaf Green first before I beat Red and Blue. I don't really remember.
Yeah, that's so that's just so odd to me. Like normally, if an RPG specifically, like if I'm playing it, like I'm playing nothing else until I finish it, and for it to take that long for you. Granted, you're much younger.
Yeah.
So
it was also
that
like, but I also would start things over all the time because like I probably played from the start of Pokemon Red up through like Erica's gym, like maybe like 10 or 20 times. Growing up, like, and just because like
you really hated the journey after Celadon.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, but not because I didn't like it. I just because like I wanted to start over. It wasn't like I wasn't having fun with what I was doing, kind of thing. Also, I did beat Gold and Silver. Well, Gold specifically. I beat that like right when I first played it. But so like I would kind of play that one as my main one, and then go back to Red every once in a while after that.
Gen 1 is surprisingly hard to go back to after you play Gen 2.
I can go back to Gen 1 anytime, but I'm also...
I can go back to Fire Red and Leaf Green anytime, but...
I mean, I can do it. It's just one of those, wow, Gen 1 is really inconvenient.
Yeah. Like, yeah, true enough. But I don't know, for some reason... for the Sega logo, I forgot about that was the stage of this game. There are a couple of occasions where I can head back into the first game of a series without really caring about like all the bells and whistles and quality of life updates, the future games. For some reason, Gen 1 doesn't bother me revisiting. I can revisit it any time of the day.
I think a lot of people tend to forget, especially since, and rightfully so, a lot of Pokemon fans are annoyed at the oversaturation of Gen 1 content. And again, I get it. Right. I really do. A lot of people forget that the original Pokemon games are just really well-made RPGs. Like, we're talking the entire package. We're not talking mechanically. Oh, no,
people in the comments are probably saying
programmed like the game's programmed on a TI-89. But
yeah. We're talking complete package.
But like in terms of dungeon design, monster design, music, like premise, I mean, when you take any of the pieces on their face, like the battle system is very, very simple. The world design and the semi-open nature of it isn't too different from what like Dragon Quest III was doing at the time. Monster catching had been around since SMT and DQ5, and I believe a couple of other games even had monster catching. But it was kind of the mix of all of those elements together that made the original game so well made. And again, games programmed on a TI-89. Barely
it was also impressive for the Game Boy more than anything, whereas if it was on like the N64 or something, or like a very late Super Nintendo game, I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it was on the Super Nintendo, it wouldn't have, basically.
No, I don't think so.
But just the breadth of content and the world building. And one thing that I think that is kind of not brought up a lot, but there's no overworld in Pokemon. It's just like everything is just like scaled the same thing. It's not like in a Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, whatever, where like when you go onto the world map and suddenly like you're huge and all of the towns are one square big. Like there's a lot of consistency.
Everything's interconnected.
Yeah, there's a lot of consistency, and the game really puts a lot of effort into world building, which builds that immersion of being a Pokemon trainer and traveling the world and whatnot. So yeah, so that's why I say I can go back to Fire Red and Leaf Green at any time, because it's like the same base game is still really, really good, but it works, and they have the updated battle system from Gen 3, which makes things really... That was one thing I really missed in Legends, is they took out abilities. I don't know why they did that.
It probably just overcomplicates what they were already doing with the battle system.
I mean, I liked the slow mode, fast mode thing.
No, Agile and Strong Moves is a great addition to the battle system.
I mean, I liked that a lot more than let's do Mega Evolutions for the 5th time.
Yeah, it's absolutely same. But it's one of those, I think, just on the nature of how the game works, I think they didn't want to kind of overload you with things to remember.
I mean, I suppose it is also
that'd be my guess. So
it's also the least battle-y Pokemon game in the franchise
Yeah.
by a lot. So I can also understand
hence why
that.
hence why I think they didn't want to overload people.
I suppose. But yeah, Arceus is great. We should do a commentary on that eventually.
I'm almost done recording it, Ted.
Yeah.
Don't say that out loud. You got to build up hype.
Oh, okay, sure.
Well, that doesn't tell them when we're doing it.
But like Pokemon Arceus was the most that I'd been excited about Pokemon in a long time, and I had went into the game with fairly low expectations, and I came away really happy. I don't know. I want them to do more of that, and
in that same setup they need to do a gold silver version of that, and like you get to experience the Burn Tower situation and all that stuff.
That would be really cool. Agreed. Especially since a lot of the Sinnoh nostalgia went completely over my head. It wasn't until I was looking at people's opinions online when I realized, oh, all of these characters are supposed to be like old versions of the modern day people from Sinnoh. Yeah. But like I don't remember a single gym leader in that game. So none of that stuck with me. So,
as someone who did play Gen 4 when it came out, it tickled my nostalgia bone for that generation far more than anything the remakes did.
For
Gen 4.
Oh, Brilliant Diamond and
Shining Pearl. I didn't
yeah.
play them, but even just like watching them, it's like, wow, this is bad.
I've not gotten them for myself. I was still pretty Pokemoned out when they were announced and released because I was like doing those videos for my channel. But it's, I thought it was harmless. I'm personally surprised Let's Go Johto is still not a thing.
I think that has more to do with, while obviously it sold well, but I think it's...
it didn't do okay, it did well.
I think it's one of those, it sold well just by virtue of being the first Pokemon game on the Switch, more than anything.
Then Kanto has something to do with it too.
Yeah.
A little bit, yes, but it's also a matter of, it was pretty divisive from a lot of people, so it's just kind of like, do they really want to do that again when they can just get the same amount of numbers, if not better, from just a regular old Pokemon game?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that if they need to make a new game every year, they don't, by the way, but if they need to, I think doing smaller games like that in between bigger stuff would be nice. Like, here's the thing, Game Freak already has like 3 different development teams working on Pokemon constantly.
Remember, small independent studio that just doesn't have the funds to do things.
But like, they would be better off like having 2 and like giving each of them like the budget and staff of both, you know,
Yeah.
so that like they could be paid better and also not work themselves to death making Pokemon games every year.
Yeah.
But you know, that's
Also just contract out for spin-offs. Jeez.
I mean, yeah, I'm surprised they haven't made Pokken 2. Like that feels like free money.
That the first game's been on the free demo for the NSO like 3 times.
Koei, Game Freak, Ditto as Mokujin. Hire me. I'm a genius.